Hey everyone, so I'm back again with another video. This time around I will be showing you guys my updated PS Vita game collection. I have a whole bunch of games here, including some limited collector, whatever you have it, editions of certain games. So when I get to those specific games, I'll show you the collector's edition sets as well. If you see any games that did come with collector's edition sets, but I don't show it to you guys, and that means I do not have it. I also have one game that's just loose cartridge, I suppose, because it came bundled with my system, but it had no case for it. It's Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. I just keep it in this multi-card case with my Vita memory cards. But to get to the games, I have a whole bunch of games here, and this collection video will be up to date as of October 2015. And I only think that I will be adding one game to my Vita collection in the foreseeable future. So here we go. Everything's in alphabetical order, and let's get to it. So first off is Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. I have actually not gotten around to playing that yet. It was dirt cheap, so I went ahead and picked it up. Same with Ben 10 Galactic Racing. Cheap, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. A lot of these games, I was able to find them for like $10 or less at some later point. So I thought, you know what, I'll get them, but on the Vita, there's only a few games that I regularly play, and you'll see which ones they are. Borderlands 2 is next. Now, this game here, I was waiting until they came out with a physical release of it, Child of Light, and I absolutely enjoy this game, and the sort of combat, what do you call it? Like the way that the combat works in this game, I really like it. The combat system, I suppose. Dragon's Crown is next. This one did come with a large art book, but it wasn't a sort of set. It was more of like a pre-order bonus, I suppose. And it's just a side-scrolling beat 'em up, I suppose, with a little bit of variation to it. And I really like that there is multiplayer as well for this multiplayer co-op. That's a definite buy for the Vita and for the PS3. Next is Dynasty Warriors Next. What can I say? Dynasty Warriors, you kind of get the idea. Freedom Wars, this game kind of disappointed me. Tried to get into it when the game came out. Got it for $30, and I probably could have waited because almost immediately they dropped the price on this to like $10. Some places I saw it for even less than $10. Next is a game that every Vita owner should have. That is Gravity Rush. Absolutely amazing game. They're making a sequel for it, and it's being released for the PS4 as well, I believe. So definitely grab it. Definitely play it. Next is Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. By far the worst port of this game. I have no idea how they made this game even worse than the mobile version of this. It's really bad. Like, really, really bad. Next is a game that lots of Vita gamers are going to have, but not necessarily play all that much. Little Deviants. This game is more of like a tech demo for the system. It pretty much shows off the features of like the overall system. It just shows you like a little bit of everything. It uses the cameras, the motion, the rear touchpad, microphone, everything pretty much. Next is Lumens or Luminous Electronic Symphony. It's a puzzle game, kind of like Tetris, but different. Next is Mortal Kombat. I suppose just Mortal Kombat. I really like this one. I try not to use the touchscreen controls on this, and I usually play it just sort of the standard way with buttons. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus is next, and I haven't actually gotten around to playing that one yet. Next is like one of the first games I got for my Vita, PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. Even though this game isn't that great, I did enjoy it very much, and I play the heck out of this. Like I really, really played this a lot back when I first got my Vita. Next game is the first one that I have a collector's edition of. It's Ragnarok Odyssey. They re-released this game with, I think, a couple of updates later on called Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. But I didn't bother to get that because it was more or less the same thing. This is the collector's edition of it. It's called the Mercenary Edition, and it comes with an art book, strategy guide, soundtrack, and 10 random insertion monster cards. I have no idea what those are, but oh well. The thing I like about Vita Collector's Editions is that they seem to come with a lot more stuff than other Collector's Editions. The next game is Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. This here is like the alternate cover. It comes with double-sided artwork. This game here is basically a cross between a 3D arena fighter mixed with a sort of Dynasty Warriors feel. And there's also lots of character customization because they're high school girls. It's supposed to appeal to a very specific audience. Basically, in this game, you fight with the girls, and the more they fight, and the more health they lose, the more clothes they lose as well. Their clothes just sort of rip off of them. And I have the collector's edition of this one as well, and it was kind of creepy getting it. Let's Get Physical edition is what they call this. And it comes with an art book, a 140-page art book. That's a lot of art. And a soundtrack CD as well. And I do actually like the music in this game, even though the overall gameplay is kind of creepy. Next is a creepy game as well, Silent Hill Book of Memories, but this is creepy for another reason. I enjoy it, but it seemed definitely a lot more simple than other Silent Hill games, but I mean, what can you ask for on the Vita? Next is Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. I only just started playing that recently, so I haven't put that much time into it, but it's Sly Cooper, pretty decent, pretty much what you would expect of the Sly Cooper series, and it's just an enjoyable game. Next is a game that I, for whatever reason, really, really, really wanted, and I think that really it came down to the point that I no longer wanted the game to play it, and I only wanted it to be able to actually get it. Like, it was this whole ordeal trying to get it that at the end of it I was like, I can't just not get this now. I really need to go and find this game. It's Sorcery Saga Curse of the Great Curry God. And to this point I still haven't played it. Basically, it's a cross between a dungeon crawler and a sort of food sim, if I understand correctly. Like, you make different types of curry, and because of that, in the collector's edition, it comes with a curry plate, a spoon, and if I remember correctly, a bib. Yeah, a plate, a spoon, and a bib. And that's it there. The next game is Soul Sacrifice. I pretty much bought that because I went to Target while they were closing out here in Canada. This was pretty much one of the last few games that they had on sale there as they were clearing out everything. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Next is another fighting game, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I like Street Fighter, I like Tekken. This was a no-brainer for me. Next is another game that I have enjoyed on other consoles, so I thought, why not get it for the Vita as well? Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits. yeah, Banana Splits. It's Super Monkey Ball. Fairly straightforward gameplay, but the difficulty really ramps up. The next game, I got it because at first I thought that it would be sort of hard to find because it was a sort of limited release. That was my understanding, at least, but I might be wrong about that. I don't see it all that often, but I still see it at certain locations. It's Tales of Hearts R, and I played this for the first, I suppose, like the first hour, but then I got into this one dungeon and I kind of got lost and I didn't know what to do, and I just gave up on it. I played this way back when the game came out for like about a week. I tried going back and trying to figure out my way through, but couldn't figure it out and just gave up on it. Next is a game that I pretty much finished in less than 2 days, not 2 full days, that's 48 hours. Just over the course of 2 days, I completed this entire game. It's Tearaway. I don't know if it was supposed to be that easy, but I 100%ed this game in less than 2 days, and I was entirely shocked by that. But not to say that it wasn't enjoyable. I really liked the game, and the story was kind of weird. So it was definitely a good game, good buy, and good play. Next is another fighting game, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I typically play Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on my Vita as opposed to the PS3 or the 360. Just out of convenience, I don't really I have the game for those systems as well, but this one's just the easier one to sort of pick up and play. Next is Zero Escape Virtue's Last Stand. Sorry, Virtue's Last Reward. I don't know why I said Last Stand. It's one of those games where it's sort of like escape the room. Pretty fun, but very challenging, so I wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people. But if you're in for a sort of difficult game, but with a very, very strange and crazy story, definitely go for that. Next is another, well, pretty much entirely story-driven game, The Wolf Among Us. It's a Telltale game, and it's based off of a comic book series that I have not read myself, but it's all based off of like fairy tale creatures and stuff like that in a sort of New York setting. And I've only finished the first episode so far, or I think the first 2 episodes. Yeah, the first 2 episodes, and I am extremely hooked. If I had more time, I'd play it immediately, but as is, I don't really have the time this coming week, so I'll have to get back to this sometime in the future. Now the last game that I wanted to show you guys, I have the collector's edition of this one as well, and this one is a pretty bulky collector's edition as opposed to other ones, including for other systems. It's Ys Memories of Celceta, or however you say that. That's the game itself, and this is the collector's edition called the Silver Anniversary Edition. I really wanted this one for whatever reason. I can't think of it. I'm not a very big Ys person. The series itself started well before sort of my time, and it never was a series that sort of jumped out at me, especially considering that more recent releases have been very few. I know that they have some kind of combo pack or something like that on the DS, but I haven't found a copy of that yet. But I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and grab this when I saw it right when it came out, and it's actually a pretty decent set here. It comes with a whole bunch of music discs, a large art book and strategy guide, a map, and like some other cloth thing, and a compass as well. Not that I'd really have a use for a compass, but it's nice to see like extra like knickknacks and stuff thrown into these collector's editions. It really makes the money worthwhile. And I think I spent like $70 or something on this, 70 or 80. I don't entirely remember. But anyways, that was my Vita collection. A whole bunch of games and 4 collector's editions as well as one loose cartridge game. But yeah, that's my collection. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and website. They're all linked in the description below. And if you want to see more collection videos in the future, just let me know. And that's it. See ya.